Just gonna give a few moments for people to join. I can see you're in the chat, Fish.
I don't know what you mean.
That Fish guy is such an awesome fella. I'll give you the thumbs up. No.
Incredibles. Wow.
There we go. Oh, God. Right, people are joining in now, so welcome once again to another exciting live stream. This one is a little bit different because we have a guest over, have two guests over, creators of T.O.M Chronicles. They're getting the story off the ground, trying to get it greenlit, and these two, especially Deadman, or as you know, Andrew Dunn, the main writer. He came to my Discord. He decided to chat, hang out with us. I liked this story. I thought there's a lot of potential. I thought it might be an interesting way to discuss and share with other people of how you go about getting a show, how to pitch a show, how to try to get it greenlit, and share the experiences, the flaws, the exciting parts and less exciting parts. So hopefully that's going to be overall a fun experience for everyone. So I think we can just have a little brief introduction from you both.
Oh, there's an
Andrew.
echo in the background. Hold on, let me check. That might be me.
Yeah. Feel free to mute when you're not speaking, but it makes it a little different. But in the meantime, Andrew, you can
Sure.
introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Andrew Dunn. I'm the writer and creator of T.O.M Chronicles. I've been building this world for about since 2012. Thanks to my help of my co-writer Beast, who keeps my ideas grounded and focused, and my lead concept artist Fish, who headlined the style and overall visual direction for my series. Together, we've created something that blends the love of storytelling, sci-fi, and strong character arcs.
There we go. We'll find out more about the show now. So you said 2012 your story was. You started conceptualizing this. 2000, that's a long time. So it took you quite some time and commitment to get all this, kicked off. But
Oh yeah. Like originally, it started off as a webcomic series, which I worked together with a few friends of mine and a few other artists, but it really didn't go too much of anywhere. So I still kept working on the story after that to perfect it. And eventually, my co-writer, when I met him, Beast, he suggested, "Hey, this would be a good idea for a TV show. Like, why don't you make it into a TV show one day?" And I said, "You know what? Screw it. I'll try to make it into a TV show. I'll ask around, see if I can find anybody to help me."
yeah, I always like those ideas that loom for so many years, and you can see how it evolved probably over the many years. Um, but at least now we have something fairly tangible, which is a huge thing that I praise when I see actual tangible results, and that stayed with it for so long. But
Yeah.
we'll talk about that more. Fish, what about you? Introduce yourself. You're the artist of this whole
Oh,
show.
yeah. So yeah, I'm Fish, T.O. And I joined the project like a bit more than a year ago, like April, like the last April. And I helped in terms of the character design and all of such, trying to do, a coherent universe in terms of style.
What's your background in terms of art? Is this your
I
first
started
animated
doing,
shows?
uh, I did other project and anime. I did other project like video games and such, and that was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But I wanted something a bit more, big, and that I can, work on it for way longer. And I've seen the project on new grounds. I needed, some help with the art, and I decided to join. And I see like a bunch of people in the project were like 20 people. I was like, damn, like it's a real big team that works, their ass off, trying to do everything well. And so it pushed myself doing more, art and character design because I usually do like creature design and such or creepy horror stuff. So that's a really nice experience to do something other. that, those kind of things.
Yeah. So this is probably going to be the biggest project you've done, the biggest commitment in terms of.
I guess so. I guess
Yeah.
so.
That's great. That is great. A second, one moment.
I think something. There you go.
There we go. No, that's fine. So I'm more curious before we get into the actual show. More curious to see how you two get on. You saw the project, you decided to join, but what were your expectations? What do you think working with Andrew? How did that work out? How did you two collaborating? How did that started? I guess would be the appropriate question. Was it fairly straightforward, or?
Well, it was fairly straightforward. It was nice to work with Andrew. Like, he's straight to the point. We like discussing, we try to discuss like once every 2 weeks, trying to find new ideas, help with the designs and other, you know. And it's quite easy to follow what he wants. And if we need to modify something, we do that rather quickly. And we managed to do some rather good designs from that.
Very cool. Alrighty then. Here comes the real big question, and this is for Andrew Moore.
Okay.
You know which one it is? I need you to give me that elevator pitch. You got 30 seconds to tell me about the T.O.M Chronicles. What is it? Shoot.
Sure. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right. All right. In the far future, a young alien scientist becomes the host of a powerful sentient biotech armor. Now he must stop his former boss from committing a galactic genocide, all while keeping the armor from completely taking over his mind. T.O.M Chronicles is a fast-paced show mixed of sci-fi action, character drama, and identity crisis in a sleek cyberpunk setting.
There we go. He speedrun that one. Now tell me more about it. You convinced me with that speedrun. What is the most interesting part about the show?
I would have to say it's the overall dynamic between Gix and the armor and how they kind of not only bounce off of each other, but how they argue and just try to get along in one body, basically.
So it is more about the relationship of the two characters.
Yes.
The emotional bonding, not just the physical bonding.
Yeah.
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 It's sort of you're already getting those ideas in your mind of how these two will work, and I think that's the right decision to do. What about Gix? Give me a little bit of a backstory about him.
So he was originally he comes from the planet Genos Prime, which is a planet that's a swampy, imagine a planet that's full of just like swampy islands and a large ocean, where most of the creatures are basically octopi like creatures that evolved from like octopuses, nautilus, squids, octopus, stuff like that, and like his species are more squid-like.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have they evolved to be more amphibious and more humanoid, so like they have certain aspects of them that look more like a frog or a salamander or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they've evolved in that direction. Gix is different as most of his species are they don't really convey emotions at all. Like they're very emotionless in the way they act.
Mm-hmm.
And Gix is different because he was abandoned his species also believes in genetic perfection. So if there's something wrong with you genetically, you're basically just thrown into the ocean and you can fend for yourself at this point.
Oh my God.
And Gix was adopted by a cousin species of his kind that are more emotional. They're more tribal. They're less advanced. And they sort of took him in and they raised him, and he gained more emotional depth in his own in the way he thinks.
Yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
If you don't mind, of course.
No, go.
The thing with the designs and to help portray that is Gates himself got kind of that young look, like the hair back, the big goggles, because the species, at least the main adults, the big ones, when they are not suffering of neotony like Gates, when an animal or someone got features that only are on youngs. For example, axolotls got neotony. That's why they got the gills on the side of their face.
Yeah.
compared to other salamanders. And the thing with Geeks is he cannot breathe out of the water. That's why he got that big suit around him. The blue that you see in the suit is actually filled with water because he got gills on the side of his torso, while regular males and regular adult of his species doesn't. They're also way bigger in terms of size.
I see. So you mean that blue? He's sealed inside. It's more like a fishbowl.
Yeah,
It's
basically.
like a mobile
Exactly.
fishbowl. That's neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of design for gigs, what was the original design and how did it evolve? How?
Oh boy, let me fetch you for that. Let me
I'm
fetch you for
curious.
your.
I'm curious now since we're talking about gigs. I thought, what was the original gigs? Was he a
Oh,
Okay,
giga?
come.
I might have that. I might actually have that
Was he a
on
Giga
file real quick.
Chad?
Let me
Was he a Giga Chad? Was he a because the fight?
Yes. Here's farthest thing from the Giga Chat. Let's put it like that. Here we go. I'm posting it on the thing.
He
Okay,
was always that kind of nerdy character.
it's
That
in
was
the,
always
Yeah.
his thing.
is it in the bottom?
Yeah.
But the thing is, before
Scroll
he
down.
was a bit more humanoid. I want to say
Yeah.
way more humanoid.
Yeah,
Exactly.
is it this one? Is it where the costumes are?
Yeah. It's no. I posted on the chat in the
All right.
Discord.
Okay. Let me just grab that up. Oh my God, I remember this. Let me just
Yeah.
paste it into the. There we go. That's neat. I like him. I remember seeing this. Yeah. So I want to compare
Is it pasted
that.
on there?
Yeah, I have it. I have it on the screen. And he didn't have this. He didn't have this fishbowl idea in this suit. Was that key?
No, he could. Yeah. He was originally basically able to breathe just out of water normally.
Yeah. Let me just pop it on top of this, so they're next to each other. Because yeah, the design of it, I'm very curious to see how it would be animated as well. Would it be like sloshing around with the sounds be there as well to sort of improvise, or is it fairly just aesthetic? Is it just mainly aesthetic, or will it have a more impact in his like animation, how he moves?
Yes, actually, I did some expression design who are on the server. Do you mind fetch them,
You
Denman, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I got you. I got you covered.
But yeah, basically one thing I wanted to do with that design compared to the old ones is really using all of the tentacles
Yeah.
to move around his face and such.
Yeah. So they're.
Because
As far
that's
as the
Mhm.
Oh no, go ahead, Fish. It's my bad.
all good. But the thing is, before in the old design, they were kind of just stuck together, plus the nose, and it didn't feel amphibian enough. And that's why I wanted to change in some part. Like, for example, giving him at the tip of his fingers little buds like a frog, trying to give that amphibious look
Yeah. So would you,
a bit more.
so with the Gix's tentacle sort of hair, would it sort of move with the expressions as well? Like if he's sad, they droop down.
Yes,
With
it
the hair.
does.
Yeah, I'm still
Yes,
looking for the image, by the way. So
hold on, you want me to fetch
I
it?
got it. Okay, I got it now.
All right, that's okay.
I found it. Yeah, here. Yeah, sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But yeah,
here we
and
go.
so the idea came from octopi and other cephalopods using their tentacles for a bunch of things. And I really wanted to add that expression with him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's important, especially for main
I posted it, by the
character,
way.
to be really expressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like a good in between with the bad guy, Silicon, and the other main one we're gonna see in the first season, who are kind of emotionless. Or it's kind
Yeah.
of just their eyes moving around in comparison.
Oh, sorry. Copy link. This one is too not supported, but that's okay. Hup, hup. There we go. That's the old. That's the another design about the tentacles. Yeah. In this one, he's a bit less of a nerd. I noticed. He's more like
Yeah.
Shaggy in some ways. You see the bottom ones is like zoinks. But yeah, I can see it. I can see now like the aggressiveness, the droop down when he's sad, they go up, they're scared. That's a cool part of the animation because they're quite difficult. Even though your character's already expressive enough as it is, those little details do help a lot to give it a bit more an extra edge on capturing the emotion.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wanted to really push that kind of wide look, especially because with more time passing during the show, the more bold it's gonna become. So I feel like it's important to play with the tentacles
Yeah, yeah,
to, to show that.
yeah.
Yeah.
What I also like in the details as well in the tentacles is they're not um, it's not sharp. They're fair, even though they're sort of look like tentacles, but they're fairly soft. They look smushy, and that's like it works for the character as well. From what I read on the pitch Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also good in between in terms of look because you got those really soft tentacles, but when he's gonna put the armor on himself, the main design of the armor is really spiky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he kind of got that tone dissonance. He becomes sharper in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Uh, so going a bit more about Gix is why do you think people will relate or care about Gix at all as a character?
Well, as we stated before, because Gix is a relatable nerd and kind of an underdog who was just thrown into this situation. He's not really prepared for it at all. I mean, he's awkward, clever, and kind, but he's kind of cowardly, at least at first. But I mean, his arc is about learning to be assertive and fighting to figure out how to deal with the little devil on his shoulders, aka the armor. It's a journey of self-definition, figuring out who you are without someone undermining you, undermining your every thought. That's something a lot of people can really connect with, I think.
Yeah. So would you say it's a bit more almost coming of age story, or just like basically growing up into from a little wimp to it is a sort of a coming of age, but he's already fairly old. How old is he?
He's about 24 in his species years.
Yeah, so it's maturing really. It's not necessarily about growing up. It's more about maturing,
Yeah,
becoming your best self, which is I guess is
exactly.
fairly relatable as well for everyone.
Hmm.
What? Let's take a look at the
I
inspiration.
wanted
Go on.
I wanted to say the thing with Geeks, it's also a people pleaser because of his shortcomings and his story and what he lived before,
Yeah.
and he just want to please everyone, which is an impossible task.
Yeah.
And before you want to please everyone, you need to first please yourself and be yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important, especially because it's going to be difficult for him to become that person because he got so much responsibility in one go and a literal yeah, that's YouTube, I cannot say that. Really bad little guy on his shoulder who's gonna taunt him for becoming a worse person.
Yeah. It's it's very much it is very much as you say growing up story in terms of maturity and becoming a Giga Chad. It's fairly familiar concept. Fairly familiar concept. If you look at all of these, a lot of the shows like Venom, Kill a Kill. Venom played with this a lot. The idea of this nerdy reporting, and in some ways, Spider-Man 3 when we have the symbiotes as well. We established Peter Parker as quite of a wimp, and then he, in the suit, you actually see him becoming a much more evil version, much more darker and edgier version, and how that affects his life and how that may ruin relationships. But that's what I wanted to ask is about the inspirations for Gix as a character. Who do you think are the biggest influence in terms of him?
Ooh, okay. So, I guess one of the biggest influences would definitely be like Venom, characters like Venom or Blue Beetle, or even the Guyver. Like, I don't remember when I was younger, I used to watch Guyver a lot. Like, I would rent the videos from the library, and I got really inspired from Guyver, mainly for the suit aspect, I guess for Gix, like for his armor.
Yeah.
But as far as as far as his character, I imagine that he's more along lines of like characters like I guess for a more recent one, the Okaroon from like Dan to Dan, or like you said, Peter Parker from Spider-Man, just a nerdy guy who is trying to do the best he can in the situation he's thrown in.
Hmm.
Like for I guess the overall tone of the world, like I was inspired heavily by things like Oddworld, that old video game.
Yeah.
Very much so as far as the aliens and the species and various how creatures would evolve in certain directions. And as far as the overall aesthetic of the world, I imagine cyberpunk and Star Trek, Star Wars to some extent, or Final Space even. Even Final Space is like a biggest heavy inspiration for me.
Very nice. What about you, Fish?
Yeah.
Yes.
What about you?
Yeah, I wanted, in terms of designs for the characters in general,
Yeah, yeah. In terms of the style you chose.
uh, in terms of the style I chose, I wanted to go heavy on the 2010 style. Adventure Time, regular show, Steven Universe,
Hmm.
with the addition of more complex or little detail, like Treasure Planets, because that's a movie that I really, really like.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make the aliens mostly humanoid, at least for the first season, so people can be attached to it and attached to them.
Hmm.
But with time, I'm gonna try to do more, weird aliens because I feel like that's important to show everything at the same time
Let's
in
look at
terms of designs.
some of these designs as well. Okay, so
Sure,
as a
go ahead.
character, we have a little background. To me, it looked a lot like Invader Zim. Also, less edgy, but it's that. When I looked at the character, she's in such a variety of diversity of them. I thought it has that, and also as I just noticed one of the characters here, the squid, is also kind of reminds me a little bit of Ivsy Pop's art, in terms of like the color schemes, the sort of mixture of monstrous and elegant design. Um, so one of the things I like about this show, why it got my attention, is mainly the diversity of characters, the amount of different creatures there. Do you, were you, Fish, given the chance to like create and design these, or were you mainly following instructions of Andrew and the other writer?
The only thing that Andrew gave me was the story about them, but I was pretty free of doing whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
And so because of it, we kind of modify some part in the story of some of the characters. And the character that you're showing right now is Mercury, and that's actually a drag queen. So I really wanted to
This one.
give that bodacious looks, kind of, as you said, Vivzy Pop
Yeah,
in terms
yeah,
of style. Where it's a lot of colors, shapes, with a bit of an addition of that, what do you call that, mix of sharp and round.
yeah, yeah. Have you ever seen Fifth Element?
I did. That's a movie I really
Yes.
like,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, that has the sort of a style that I think I think it is a futuristic, and it's grit. Some areas are very gritty and like industrial, but then when you go to the upper classes, it's extremely like vivid. And when I see these characters, a lot of the vividness is sort of similar there, where
Yeah.
they're very over, in some ways over designed, but not in a complicated way, like in a creative way, where you can play around with different shape sizes, and that's why I think it's not just like an alien that looks like an alien. There's a lot more interesting biology in these. Oh, someone asked a
Yeah.
question. Let's have a look. Could you
The
elaborate
thing.
on? Ask a quick question from Mr. L. Could you
Oh,
elaborate
sure.
on the devil on Gix's shoulder that you talked about? Is this a literal voice whispering in his ear, or is it more of a symbolic representation? I can
I can
do.
field this one.
Yep, go on.
So yeah, to answer your question, Mr. L, so basically the armor, Gix's armor, the thing that he wears throughout the series is literally sentient and can talk to him. So yeah, it's a basic literal represent, like it literally is talking to him, whispering in his ear things that he should not do, but he wants him to do to survive, so they can both survive. So yeah, it's like very much, someone who's trying to, hey, you got to kill this guy to survive, or hey, you got to destroy this building and then everybody will live, like stuff like that. Like it's just like he's trying to tell them to do horrible things, but at the same time, Gix doesn't want to do these horrible things.
Yeah, it's again the closest to me is Venom. I suppose in the latest movies. where they keep arguing with one another, but they're still taking over. They're still using the same body.
Yeah.
With the twist that I wanted to say to do, a separation between him and Venom and the symbiote.
Hmm.
The twist is, yeah, he tried to make Geeks a worse person, but Geeks also is making him a better person at the same time.
Yeah. And I like that dynamic. I think it's a dynamic that shouldn't be sort of forgotten in the story. Is that is your key, and I mentioned this to Andrew before. Is that is the key of their relationship of the two characters? Is one is they're each helping each other, not just through the powers and through their joint goal. They are becoming better people. One is getting more confident. The other is maybe learning empathy, or whichever you prefer to use. But something they will both learn
Yeah.
by the end of the adventure. And again,
Exactly.
it does help a lot. It does help a lot to have these going to the art style, the sort of tentacly, so goopy combinations, like where you can see that the body is not just a normal body, that there's a lot more variety in here. And I think the suit, as you can see here, will have quite a few varieties of shapes and sizes.
Actually,
Oh, go on.
no, actually, that part in the story with the armor, uh, actually come from. I know that's kind of silly, but the idea of the armor morphing into multiple shape and size come from Ben 10 because that's just a show I really love personally,
Yeah.
and simply like the way it looks. If you want, I just posted in the thing, the armor look how it looks for Geeks in his head and
Yeah.
floating around.
Yeah, there we go. That's what the suit looks outside of the body. He is a bit like Wheatley. He reminds me of a Lovecraftian Wheatley.
Yeah, basically.
A little ball with, I guess it grabs on.
Yeah.
And the more he got control of Geeks, the bigger he is. But when he become really small,
Mhm.
but he can become really small and kind of cute when he's really not in control.
You have two pictures here. You have him like closed up, and then the other one. Are these like how are they different? When is
Uh,
one and then the other?
the one on the top right
Top right, yeah.
is full form when he's inside of Geek's head,
All right.
while the one under in the left
Mhm.
is actually when it's connected to no one. It just looks like that big squirming
Yeah,
glob just floating around
yeah.
and trying to attach to stuff.
And
Yeah.
that go on.
Oh no, go ahead. That's all right.
Andrew, or okay, I was gonna comment on the first one. I like it a lot because it's also sort of very defensive. And I don't know whether you're gonna play up on that aspect or not, but it is, I like the idea that when he's without a host, he's sort of weak as well. He's like a thing that is unable to defend itself.
Yeah.
And there's something relatable with Gix there. So that's something it's worth as well, perhaps establishing that he wants a host because without it, he's also very vulnerable and weak and probably not he's not the evil Giga Chad. He knows what it is to be vulnerable, and that might be why he's trying to be sort of evil and nasty in some regards. It's a sort of defense mechanism, and that's something
Yeah.
that might be worth exploring. But that's what the design tells me anyway. I don't know whether how true that is.
Yeah, it's kind of true. It's
Yeah,
also
kind of down the
because
head.
the thing with Geeks is kind of unique because his biology make him capable of sustaining the armor. And could you come back on the Grey Monster for a second, if you don't mind?
On the Gray Monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This one?
we cannot see.
Oh yeah, sorry.
But yeah, with the big red eyes.
Oh, big red eyes. Hold on. This one? Oh, sorry. The giant dinosaur in the lab coat. No.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's actually a patient code.
Yeah.
But the thing is with the armor is Silicon, the main antagonist of the story,
Hmm.
Yeah.
try to use that armor and stuck to them and stuck to people. The thing is most people getting synchronized with it become that kind of monster because their biology is not made for it. And he's like trying again and again and again until he found a good host for it.
Yeah.
And the only one that worked with was Geeks.
Oh no. Which is again an interesting idea. Is the how what is the what makes Gix unique in terms of the other patients?
I can feel that one.
Go on.
So basically, the reason that makes what makes him unique is his main ability from his species, which is to hyper regenerate,
Hmm.
which allows him to basically regrow limbs or lost body parts and such at an incredibly fast rate, like in a matter of minutes.
Right. So it's. I think we talked about this before in the chat. Is the fact that the suit takes a toll on your body significantly,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
whoever else is using it just kills them more, like, severely injures them. And Gix,
yeah,
because of his regeneration, or like his little amphibian biology, he can just, like, push himself back together, build himself back together, and that's very useful
Mhm.
for the name. The symbiote name is Tom, isn't it? T.O.M.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it is useful for him. It's like, okay, it's about, reminds me of, and it's a strange reference, but Chainsaw Man is
Oh yeah.
the character's like, I forgot his name now, the Japanese one. He the
Um,
super strong bounty hunter, devil hunter,
yeah.
who's training the protagonist, and he's like, I always broke my toys when I played with them, and now you guys are immortal technically, so I can just play with you as hard as I want, and you're not gonna break. It's a scary idea, but it shows you how, like, this regeneration may not be a good thing either. Um,
Yeah.
Also, the thing with the regeneration of Geeks is he need a lot of water to work. Like,
mhm.
he need to
Yeah.
always be with at least a certain amount of liquid. So he cannot change too much or too quickly, or he's just gonna shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a line between when it's too much and when it's not enough. So it's also, I'm guessing the symbiote is also wants to, somewhat likes Gix, I guess, and he would mitigate those things. Or would Gix have to be the one who is trying to mitigate that from going too far?
Yeah, basically, like, he cannot let himself go too hard because that's the only host that seems to work.
Exactly.
I think it's a nice little balance
And
between.
then another thing with the whole regeneration part of it is it's that he can still feel pain, even though let's say he gets his arm blasted off or whatever, he can still feel that pain. It's
Yeah.
not like the painless process.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't hurt as much as it would a normal person getting their arm blasted off or something. It's just it still is painful.
Yeah. My question immediately would be: would there be a character in the same species of Gix who might be a better suitor for the suit?
Oh, definitely.
But
There is, I'm not going to spoil
Don't
anything, but there
spoil it.
is in a future season, there will be a character, let's say, who's a lot more qualified than Gix as far as being a warrior, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
but there is
Immediately,
a trick to it.
yeah, because immediately my mind comes to that. Like, Gix is like a nerdy guy, but he gets this power armor. Is there someone with that, without those flaws? And how would that would be a much bigger challenge, because it would be a nice foil for Gix. He has to
Oh yeah,
reach that level.
yeah.
Very neat. Very neat. As I said,
I mean,
also,
we need to take into account that's a cooperation, not
mm,
just a one side mission, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
yeah. Going back a bit to the creative process. As you
Mhm.
told me, there's 20 people on this project.
Yes. Let me just count how many are there. I think there more than 20, but let me just double check on those numbers real fast. Let's see here. Let me count it real quick. So there's about 1 second.
The
24.
the team is big and it keeps getting bigger. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Andrew, from your perspective, because many creators are typically a one-man army at this point. Uh, they're working by themselves and they try to do everything: the art, the writing, the pitching, everything. But you already have so many people working. Um, what is that like to managing all those, that collaboration in this project? And do you have any, arguments or creative differences between, or is everyone sort of chipping in their ideas and you're the one who has final say? Or are there any moments where the team is actually, more set on the idea that you may not fully like yet?
So basically, honestly, there wasn't there wasn't really any creative clashes per se, like as far as the art goes or the character or the story goes. Most of the tension was more about the direction of the project and how to promote it early on.
Hmm.
There's a moment where I had to rewrite the first pilot script to give it a stronger introduction, and it caused a little friction where some people did leave the team. Not all of them, just a few.
Yeah.
There's a few, two voice actors, but it was the right move in my opinion. Things eventually worked out for the better. Now that I feel that the team is now stronger and more aligned than ever. So yeah, like I said, there wasn't too many problems. Just that, and then so like a couple of voice actors leaving and a couple of artists having to drop out for other projects they were more involved in. So yeah.
Yeah. It's always going to be the case, but at least I like to hear that you are still working with the most of the team is still the same, right?
Yeah, the only people who technically left during that whole time with the when we first started off with the when there was people leaving was the Giggs' original voice actor and the original voice actor for Cap,
Yeah.
and then a few different artists, which I don't remember their names at the moment, but yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. But yeah, it's nice to hear that you're still collaborating with most of your team, um, and they're coming very close to getting these greenlit. I think,
Oh
like
yeah,
if I was a producer at this stage, I'm like, okay, there's things here that is much stronger than just an idea,
Mhm.
and you already have a team behind you, so that's also a very strong point because collaboration is one of the most important things about the creative industry.
yeah.
You pull your weight, and there's not a lot of people who are just like one-man armies. Um,
Yeah. I mean,
so
yeah, that's the thing with that is it's like I'm not very good at animation. I've never been a good artist. I don't know how to voice act, so I'm more of on the writing side of things and just coming up with initial story and script and dialogue and all that. And also thanks to my friend Beast, who is my co-editor, co-writer, he helps me keep my ideas grounded and solid.
very nice, very nice. So speaking of the animation landscape, uh, what do you think the show is going to bring to the table that other shows aren't doing, or you think there's a gap in the market for this kind of animation?
I mean, to be honest, like right now, I feel like a lot of anime shows most of them are kind of carbon copies of each other. Many of them are just rely on too much edgy humor, too much weird characters, a lot of shock value, a lot of swearing, a lot of a lot of dumb sex jokes. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and because of that, but I feel like also people like certain things like storytelling that are from an indie perspective. Like they want to see more indie projects and come out there and and flourish. So like I feel like Tom Chronicles brings something to the table, a genuine story with emotional depth, high stakes, slick world building. It blends a lot of general genres together.
Hmm.
And it's really in a time where indie animation is rising. The show feels like it belongs right now.
Yeah. Here's the question now. The version of 2012. Let's go back to that time.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that time. Do you think that the ideas you had about Tom Chronicles, about your show, do you think if you had this idea, like the current idea that you have everything set up, do you think it would have worked then, um, or not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. Honestly, I think it would work 10 times better if I had the same idea if I had now than back then.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been easier and successful and easier to get people to like and want to help out with the project. So yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of which, going back again, since we're back in that time, what if you could go back in time and like tell your 2012 self what to do and not to do? You have 1 minute to exist in that period. What would you tell them?
Okay, I can say this much. For the love of God, just put your stuff on social media like nonstop. Make sure people know about this.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a good social media presence before going forward. Like, just make sure you put everything on Twitter, on freaking Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find the people to know about this. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the only person who cares about this idea is you until you show it to someone else, other people, and
Yeah.
start to let know that you are working, and they, most people would be, interested in some way, or at least show some interest in your lay building the community, even if it evolves over time. Just getting out there and showing your art is super duper important. I think
Hmm.
I think Fish knows a lot about that, considering he's an artist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of hard to just find a community, especially on Twitter. Jesus Christ. But um, I feel like as an artist, it's kind of hard to found a community and trying to find people to follow you in term artistic because it's if you don't have that one tweet that works, it's gonna be really hard to interest people into what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But with time and just working on stuff, and you're gonna get an audience. You just need to keep going. At some point, you're gonna get it.
Hmm.
Always believe in you guys. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting out there. But again, here's the cool thing. As I said, I didn't come up with this idea until Andrew came to the Discord. We chatted, and then I was like, hey, there's interesting stories, and it takes a little bit more, effort to just not expect that. Even if you make like a most amazing thing in the world, you still want an audience. You still need to share it. Otherwise, it doesn't exist. So you do need to come in, and you need to chat, and you need to meet people. And I met a lot of now. As my audience is growing, the other people are also creators are joining, and I'm very happy to see that more people are coming out with their ideas, saying, "I'm an artist. I'm doing this. I'm a writer. I'm doing this. What do you think?" And that's great. I think this is a healthy, a side of a healthy creative when they're actually going out there, not just hiding away, doing their little art, which is good. You can do it if you want, but if you're trying to get your show greenlit, you need to be out there.
Oh
Any?
yeah, and on that note, but my bad. Go
No,
ahead.
no, no, no. Go ahead. I was finishing. I was finishing.
I just wanted to say something that does help a lot though is doing fan art of stuff. I try to do as much fan art as possible to gather an
Oh
audience.
yeah.
Yeah, not be afraid of collaborating with, even if it's not your idea. It's again, I agree with that because I'm doing a Hasbro Hotel show. I'm doing Digibot, like things that I like, but people out will like as well. And you have a common interest. That then, if
Yeah.
you're creating something original, people will already know that you have these interests, and you're probably going to implement them into your own story as well to some extent. Um, so it's great. Any other things you would tell besides social media? Like if let's say we move back, we go into the future 5 years, you're already doing the writing the show, you're already thinking
Hmm.
of this. You get another chance, another future you came around. What do you say next? And
um, Definitely, I would just say like make sure to like don't be afraid to ask. Like ask around, find people who would be show them what you got. Find people who would be interested in your project. Like don't be afraid to show your stuff. And also make sure to not be like be humble and take criticisms. Like my early self didn't really like criticisms too much.
yeah.
Like at least until I found met Beast, which who kind of humbled me and made me more open to criticisms. But yeah, make sure you take criticisms. Learning from your mistakes always helps.
Nice. Exactly.
That's the thing I would tell my past self is just learn from your mistakes, improve, improve, improve.
Yeah. It's a craft. Even writing is a craft. Art is also a craft. And the only way to get better is to understand what are the flaws and how to overcome them.
Exactly.
Hmm. So, where do you think you are in terms of your creative journey now? Now we skip back to today again. How
Hmm.
confident are you about the show? How confident you are about yourself as a creator? Like this long, long decade-old journey has probably taught you a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, like right now we're in the like currently what we're doing now, we're in the middle of the pitching phase as we pitch the idea to Frederator Studios, or Fred Films as they're now known, but still Frederator. We have full automatics in development. We're technically almost done. We just need a few more done. Voice acting has all been recorded. We have locked in the voice actors. We're just prepping the pilot as far as trying to prep the pilot after the animatic is done. I mean, we locked in our art thanks to Fish, of course. And yeah, and the thanks to my and also got to give a shout out to my animators, my artists. I know Ren was in the chat as well, so I got to give a shout out to all of them. And my co-writer Beast, they all helped me out and made my journey so easier, so much. They really helped my dream come true. Yeah, like as far as what I've learned how to like manage a team, which I never really learned. I mean, I've done like team projects in like in college, but I never did something of this degree.
Yeah.
So this is all new territory. But I made sure to. Luckily, I had a mentor figure in college who knew about the industry and who told me about this kind of stuff. So yeah, I had an idea going in. I just learned more as I went along.
Yeah. So
I made sure to do more research. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna ask as well. It's like, let's say you get the show greenlit, it's all worked out, and then do you think if you had to do another idea, if you have to do another show and start from scratch, do you think you would be in a much more confident way of starting it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I already have another idea in the works right now as well.
Yeah, I think it's the first one is always the most difficult because it's such a journey to go through, and then once you know
Yeah.
how to do it, you're like, okay, now I know what to do and what not to do.
Exactly, exactly. It's always good to learn from past experiences and all that.
Yeah. And Fish as well. How's your creative journey as out? Do you think this project is helping you more on not just being an artist, but more thinking about the long term project? Not just be like, oh, it's a commission. It's you're actually putting a lot more thought and effort into actually leading this sort of style.
Oh no, that's the thing with art and how I go and see art personally. It's more of I will give all I can, even if it's commission, but at that point, it's not even a commission. That's a project and a universe that I'm participating to make. And that's why I love doing it. Doing it. It's just nice to make something from the ground up and help accomplish something that's gonna be, maybe something great in the future that people's gonna appreciate.
Yeah. So
And in terms of artistic, oh my bad.
no, go on.
And in terms of artistic journey, it was quite nice. I always liked, those kind of animation, really like cartoon animation and all. And it was a good way to try a new style compared to the more greedy drawings I do usually.
Because I imagine the consistencies when you're doing this project with this scale, it's like the every single art piece is sort of consistent in that world. It's not one and done, and that probably changed your perspective on that kind of approach.
Absolutely. It's a bit like going from Texas Chainsaw Massacre to Steven Universe in terms of style. So yeah. Hold on, you want me to give you one of my illustration I did?
Well, is it okay to show on a stream? Because I've seen
Don't
some of
worry, I
your
can
art.
show it on the stream, don't worry.
Okay, great. And also on the stream, I show you the like animatic reel. I like this part especially.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah,
gigs. Yeah,
yeah. I
because
thought of it.
I saw some of your art in not just the gigs part, not just the T.O.M Chronicles one. I was like, wow, it's quite a variety there, quite a range. But
Appreciate.
Oh yeah, fish is a freaking treat to work with.
let's see. Pause this for a moment as well. Go back to see if you have any questions in the chat. Feel free to ask.
Yeah.
Everything we're all seeing, my all-seeing eyes seeing things, not just. Let's see that art. Let's see that art. Scroll down. We're gonna. Oh, it's not posted yet. Or is it on the Discord? No.
I think we got a question.
Do we? Yeah. There we go.
So
From OG. Oh, from Tobinator. Question: how many times did you pitch your shows before finally got a studio to bite? How did you handle moving forward even after rejection? Good question.
so okay, that's actually a very good question. I like that one. So basically, I only could find one since most studios don't accept
Oh
unsolicited
my
pitches.
god.
It was really hard, especially in the U.S. So, but I did do my research. It took me a little bit, but I found Frederator Films was the studio I currently pitched to, and they've actually been very, very good responding. They don't send like pre-recorded responses. Like they send me actual somebody who actually sends me a message, like a person. It's this person responding. Let alone they've already asked for more stuff, so we sent them that animatic you guys are watching right now, as
Mm-hmm.
well as I've sent them the pitch Bible. They've been very excited about the whole process. Like they've been very very easy to respond to and everything, and as well as we're almost technically done with the process as it's an 8 week process and we're only on technically week 6. We're on week 5, but by next week it's going to be week 6 of an 8 week process. So hopefully we get the greenlit after this.
Yeah.
Hopingly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, uh, as I said, what we discussed this before on the Discord is like if you get a green light, but they also have a lot of conditions in terms of what changes you want to make. They want to make. Um, how willing are you to make those changes, and how willing are you to step away and say I'm looking for another way of getting the show produced?
So honestly, if they try to really change around the characters to the point where it's just absurdity, or just making the characters not who they are, or trying to make the story not what it's supposed to be, then yeah, I would possibly try to switch over to a different studio. Because yeah, I'm not gonna sacrifice the story I'm telling just to make some sort of dumb thing just for the studios to be happy, like, or something that plays down what I've worked on. Like I'm not gonna sell my integrity just for a paycheck.
So
Everybody's putting too much hard work and time, and as well as myself, to like try to change everything up to from what it originally was.
yeah. Okay, here's a question
And
for you. Oh, go on. Vish?
just wanted to
Mm-hmm.
say, I feel like I'll if it's some in term of story, I will disagree with the studio. But if it's term designs and all, yeah, if some of them need to be changed to be, more easily
Yeah,
animated, or just because we can change them before going right through the project, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind that, honestly. I feel like a lot of the character we're seeing right now gonna get quite a bit of changes.
yeah.
Yeah, and you would be more okay with that, Andrew, than the little
Oh
design
yeah,
changes
definitely.
over.
Yeah. Design changes over story. That designs are fine. Story, I don't agree with that stuff. I work too hard for that stuff.
Yeah, here's the big question, because this is gonna be knowing studios. This is gonna be one of the big things. If they say I
Mm.
want to change the main name from Tom Chronicles to Adventures of Geeks, are you okay with that? Or if
Uh,
or they ask something else like I don't know, bio frogs, like they want to put it on a T-shirt. How willing are you to change that?
um, I mean, is if we can agree on something that's still fitting to the story but is different, like I can be flexible on the title if need be, as long as it still maintains the same essence of what it originally was. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Because
Like I'm not too yeah.
not
Oh, it's not something stupid.
yeah. To be fair, one of the things that I learned from a little bit more from book publishing, if you're getting an agent, a lot of them know the process sometimes a little bit more than the
Yeah.
creator. So they're like, okay, the title. And TV shows do the same thing. I think Scrubs or something else as well. In TV shows,
Oh, really?
they just found a title that is a bit more marketable, and the people know that what would sell
Yeah.
more than others. So that's what I mean. Like in terms of creative integrity, it's always interesting to see whether people would be like, no, it's gonna be called this, and his gonna be name is gonna be Geeks Forever, and they're
I
like,
mean, like I said,
yeah,
I don't mind changing names. I don't mind changing the title to some extent, as long as it has if it's marketable but still captures the same essence. I'm okay with that. Art style, I'm okay with too, because art always changes.
yeah,
But as far as the story, I want to keep the story the same because I feel like the story needs to be told the way it is. Yeah.
yeah,
I also ask for what do you call that? As for the title, as an example that I like to take, with Disney, for example, Amphibia. Before the show Amphibia was called, Amphibia, it was called Amphibaland.
no,
So I see why they changed the name.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm okay with that kind of simple stuff. Yeah.
Well,
I think we got another question from Rag Train.
We do. You've read it already. How many
Yeah.
iterations do you go through before you get your final product?
In terms of designs,
How many iterations do you go?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that
I think he's talking about.
this is a design question.
Okay.
oh boy, I feel like it's really depending on the characters because some of them are quite easy to track down and see how we're going for. But for example, Kai that you're showing right now with the big guys that can change shape and with animal parts.
Yeah.
He go to the ringer in terms of design before we settle on that one in particular. Like I did a lot of different things to make it,
Yeah.
work in a way where it's enjoyable. Also, in the same case, Mercury is also in the same boat,
Hmm.
where it's really hard when a character got a complex power or got a special place in the setting. It's really hard to find a good design for them that, shows their personality in a way that is enjoyable for the public and not going too hard too for the animators. But I feel like I did quite a good job with both of them.
Yeah, it's something I noticed as well in the artwork here. Um, you could say, oh, they can hang on a branch, upside down, but look at the legs are crossed in a very interesting way that you don't expect creatures to do. But that's what gives it that sort of a creative edge. Um, and I can imagine whether like, do you the way I'm thinking in terms of creating designs, especially is the first iteration tends to for me be like very functional, but then with each iteration it becomes a bit more functional plus something a bit more creative, so plus something a bit more unique. Do you go through the same process, or do you already start off with the unique part and then try to sort of functionalize it?
I'm trying to go with logic because something I love doing is I love doing spec evolution.
Hmm.
And so that was a good occasion to just play with that.
Yeah.
And the thing with Ela, for example, you can see her foot and her shoes
Hmm.
are really weird are really weird shape because it's actually a pole inside the shoes, and she
Hmm.
got like a parrot feet inside, and that's why they look so weird.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it all builds up to the sort of the world. It all builds up to the sort of wacky world, and I think that's a very, it's worth having. We already have a lot of wacky worlds around, especially with Adventure Time. But there's what I like about in terms of these arts is the fact that that's wacky and somewhat disturbing. There's elements where even though they don't seem like monstrous creatures, what's her name? The girl, the moth girl,
Ela.
Ula,
Ye Ela.
Ela.
Ela, yeah, Ela.
But the thing with those characters is even if they are humanoid, I really try to push the alien design in some place or another.
Yeah.
That's why she got like those really weird feet. But she's basically an anime girl. And on that note, she inspired by Rebecca from Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
Edge Runner.
Yeah, and again, I can see it. It's the art style mixing with the world much better. Like, let's make her a little bit more uh, as monstrous is the word, but it's not in the same way. She's still a cute anime girl, and as you mentioned, she has expressions, but like, let's have her sleeping like this, upside down. It's like, oh, it's never the Geeks to me seems to be in terms of design is almost the most normal out of the bunch.
Which is weird because he literally got a squid for a head.
Yeah. He's the most normal of the bunch, but I'm sure when he gets a suit, when he has the super suit, he will also become part of this monstrous, part of the monstrous design. Especially when I see
Yeah.
them down here, which I don't know whether that was intentional or not.
Kinda. I really try to make his main design with the lab coat and even his main outfit as plain as possible. Like it's literally just a dude.
He's the he's the Tom Anderson of the story. He's the Neo. He's the everyday middle manager, just living as trying to do his reports. you know, and then he's met with all these, you know, very vivid characters, and then the suit all gives him that edge. But yeah, in my mind, Gix is like the most normal out of the bunch. When you see this kind of freak, it's like he's definitely not going to be a good guy. I'm guessing, my guess. Yeah, you can see like there's a lot of imagination, and someone in the chat also asked. Oh, they deleted. Are you aiming for this to be 2D animated or 3D animated? Neil asked.
Actually, funny enough,
Really good.
me and Fish were talking about that, and we were thinking either like maybe 3D, but like a 3D that looks 2D, if that makes any sense.
An in between, I feel like will be the best. Because one thing I want to keep is the alien design, especially for the background characters.
Mhm.
But the thing is, if we go full 3D, we cannot keep that. That would be way too costly to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we might just lean through to 2D, if anything, just to keep the same aspects of what we got so far. So yeah.
I would say so.
Or we do like Bob's Burger and simply make how we call that, and make the characters in 3D looking like 2D, and so we can make backgrounds a mix of the both, and also the background characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you make this 3D, it would be a lot more difficult to animate both the fluidity and the transformations, because that would require so much more processing power. Just the modeling. The 2D gives you that rubberiness that would work much better.
Yeah, I think so too.
Let's have a look.
I think Ray Trains has a question.
Let's have a look. Do you think you go too far with some designs?
I gonna be honest with you, I feel the designs that might be a bit much could be Mercury, but at the same time, it's on purpose because it's supposed to be a drag queen, and of course, she's gonna be more ostentatious compared to other characters. But I feel like, in terms of character design, there are not too much to deal with or hard to do, especially because I also try to make a lot of the design really simple and a lot of big shape. So even if we want to go for details in some scene, it's gonna be rather simple to animate.
Yeah,
So maybe get like one part a bit more hard to animate.
And you can always
But
do
except
the
that, so
you can always do the South Park methodology where you make it too far, you go too far with the art, and wait until the producers will say, "Can you pull it back?" But at that point, you already gave them the super duper disturbing art, and now you'll need to pull it back a little bit further. So you still get the disturbing design, but at least the producers now feel like they contributed into reeling you in rather than undercooking it. And then
like just tugging on the nerves of the producer. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It is a common practice. You just make the most like disturbing thing get their attention, and then let them give the control, saying like, oh, if it's too much, that's okay. I can dial it back, as opposed to giving them a plain design and then going like, I can make this better. Trust me, guys.
It's like when in production, like that's something that people also do. It's an outlandish design or scenario for an episode of or character.
Yeah.
And then it's so, insane that it would never be made. And then you show the real thing. And in comparison, it looks okay. It's still insane, but less insane. So they accept it.
It's the illusion of choice. You give them you already know it's going to fail, but you want to give them the control to say no. And if they say yes, I'm like, okay, fine, let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah, fighting with producers is the best part about creating. It's like,
oh yeah,
you learn to communicate. You'll reach that stage when you get the green light there, Andrew.
Yeah,
it's gonna get
you.
Go on.
It's a tug of war with a credit card in the middle.
It is. You can ask anyone about that. It's like, do we really need this scene? Do we? And you're like, yes. No, but do we? Can we not have it? And then it's like all tug of war. But hey, if it gets the interest and they're it makes the money, that's what they really care about in the end. And that's where you go. You can really push them more on. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be iconic. Everyone's gonna remember this. What do you think? Speaking of which, these are more making this iconic and making this. What do you think in terms of tone, humor, all those aspects about keeping the interest of the story itself now, not just the design. Designs are already doing the job, but how are we going to add more to that in terms of the style of humor we can expect, the style of writing? Where are we aiming in terms of that?
So as far as writing goes, I still imagine this very much like a and like let's see. Let me see if I can start with this. So yeah,
Gravity Falls.
I say maybe Gravity Falls mixed with a little bit of Final Space and those kind of terms, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit of like certain like it's serious like Final Space, but has little bits of little comedy sprinkled throughout like that you can find in like Gravity Falls, like certain maybe like sight gags or even like something like a funny moment between characters, or even like just a something said that's random that makes sense for the moment, if that makes any sense. But yeah.
In terms of the tone, yeah, as I said, Gravity Falls is one of the example. In terms of you, there we go. I did like Gravity Falls. I was just looking at the comment. In terms of the when it comes to humor, I'm assuming you're going to be writing the scripts yourself and the other writer.
Yeah.
How many writers do you have right now? It's just two of you.
Just me and my co-writer Beast.
Yeah. Who do you think, if it's going to be an animated show, it's still going to be a comedy? Well, I'm assuming comedic elements in there, right?
Yeah.
How do you find writing jokes, writing the right tone? Do you find it difficult? Do you find it?
Honestly, I find jokes can be difficult, but I try out like this is how we do it. Like for when I try to write something funny, I try a couple of different things, write a couple things, run it by Beast, and he says, okay, this is funny or this is not funny, or like I'm writing dialogue and I say, hey, this is what the character says, I think it's funny. He'll let me know, because yeah, sometimes my humor is a little bit off,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like he does help me figure out which is the best joke out of the bunch.
I do try to help too a bit, especially for the more comedic moments, like Geeks sleeping on a book, and it's just something like how to deal with the stress when you're and crippling loneliness during the job hour for dummies,
Yeah.
and this kind of silly humor. And
Yeah.
of course, there is a bit of that. Grungy humor and the ways that the character talk. It's more like the interactions themselves are funny, but they are not like, ooh, insult, I'm gonna say the B word during the whole show to try to make
Yeah.
it funny. Like, it's gonna be really occasional. That's gonna be more like witty dialogue and discussion. That's gonna be comedic
Exactly.
in that way.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, action. Who's gonna be comedic, like a character fighting another,
Yeah.
and something funny is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Exactly, because like imagine like how it's a good moment. Like there's this moment like in season 1 where Cap, the little blob guy, he and Ela are locked in a cell, and Cap is kind of trying to cheer up Ela because she's crying because they're locked in a cell, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he realizes, oh yeah, I can split myself into a smaller being, and and he can go and find help. And like one of the other funny parts of it, like Ela asks, "Okay, so do you control it, or does it control itself?" And like he's saying, and like he says, sarcastic, like not sarcastically, but just like, "Well, it's a little bit of both. I don't control it. At the same time, it controls itself." And like she's like worried because Cap is not the smartest character in the group.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's his
So
child, by the way. That's how they reproduce. So you just
Yeah.
let a child on the loose in a giant
Yeah.
facility.
Exactly.
Of course.
Exactly. So yeah, it's just like.
Oh, go on.
Go ahead.
Okay. One of the things that, when you were talking about gigs, that you remember me making jokes about gigs in terms of what I imagined as a character. How I described it, he's the Mort Goldman of the series,
Yeah.
like a sci-fi frog Ward Goldman. Or recently, I was thinking about if you know from South Park, Kyle's cousin Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Those two are to me like that's where I imagine Giggs. Where he's such a sort of wimpy character, and again, it's very authentic that you made him a squid. He's a spineless kind of character, so
Yeah.
it works very doubly so. But I think for a lot of the humor, for me anyway, from him was that he is such a almost pathetic creature. So it's like running out of water, has to run to get the water. He gets awkward. He gets shy. You get a lot of that humor there, um, and that's what I was gonna ask. Did you have any problems, or do you still think there might be problems where you may like Gix too much, where you don't want him to suffer as much, or do you think yes, this guy is gonna suffer through my entire series?
Oh no, there's gonna yeah, I don't like he's not no Mary Sue. He is going to go through a lot of stuff, to be honest.
Mm.
Like he's gonna go through the ringer throughout this whole series. Like he'll get better at going through the ringer, but he's still gonna go through the ringer.
But do you enjoy tormenting him, or do you feel like you always have to hold yourself back?
I have to hold myself back because there's a lot of things I could do to him that can make his life worse, to be honest.
Great.
I feel like it's important for a character to have hardship because a character without any difficulty, well, it's fucking boring.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's the Peter Parker. If you watch the Spider-Man movies, the world hates him. The world hates him so
Yeah.
much. Like he's late for the bus, everyone's laughing at him as he tried to get to the bus. He's like getting tripped over, and that's what makes it satisfying devolution for him to being a superhero. Is that
Yeah.
he had all those hardships, and I feel like again, Gigs for the Adventure could go through a lot of those.
Yeah, I mean, if you like when you were showing the little animatic reel that I had of the little trailer, animatic trailer, even shows a part. Yeah, it even shows a part in the trailer that shows off him getting laughed at by his fellow scientists because he's sort of the loser among the scientists.
So he's not. So would you say he's not even the best scientist?
He not really. He's mostly just a glorified lab tech, kind of like a nurse almost.
An intern, the
He try-
the,
yeah,
the lab
yeah,
equivalent
yeah,
of an intern. Oh,
yeah. And the thing is, he wants to be a scientist, but they don't take him seriously. And a lot of people don't like him because of his species. Yeah.
do you?
Be
Oh, go on.
because the thing with species is really smart, and the other species are also smart, but meatheads. They are like a bunch of hunks with an aardvark degree, and that's why people doesn't really like his species.
Yeah.
Is
Uh,
what I want to know about his personality as well is how does he react to that? Like,
Being made fun of,
yeah, how does he
laughed at, or
see how
whatever.
does he see himself? Is there a little more arrogance in him? Like he's like, these fools don't understand me. They all laugh at me. They won't
Yeah.
laugh now. Or is he more like, oh man, I wish people would like me? Those
I
are
think it's more leans to I wish people would like me, mixed with a little bit of, I'll show them one day kind of mentality.
yeah.
I'll prove to them that I'm gonna be awesome like one day. That's the
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like he wants them to like him, but at the same time he wants to prove something he can be cool.
Yeah.
Whatever. So yeah.
Okay. So
Maybe not really question him, but
he
huh?
wants to be cool in some way.
He wants to be
he's
alive.
Mm,
he is an asocial character. He doesn't like people, but he can be really sweet when you know him, basically.
Yeah.
because to me, as I said, there's two different approaches for him. Being like, I wish people would like me, and I don't know why, or I know why they don't like me, and I can't do anything. Is whether he's choosing to be unlikable or he's unable, trying to be likable but unable to do it. Does that make sense? Or do I?
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I think it's more the first one where he wants to be likable, but people just don't like him.
Yeah, he's kind of awkward with social cues too.
Exactly.
And,
Yeah.
and that's why, for example, and I like to point out, he's gonna have some conflicts with the rest of the crew. For example,
Yeah.
Peyote, who's the big guy that we just see in the animatic with the
Mm-hmm.
spikes, because he's kind of the anti-geeks. He's really, confident, kind of
Charismatic.
silly, and he got that what do you call that?
Yeah,
Is
Charisma?
that charisma? Yeah, he got charisma.
he has the riz, as they say, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
sure, whatever.
and and Giggs has no
Okay,
riz. He's rizless.
Yeah.
exactly.
But hopefully with the suit, he
Um,
will be the Rizzler.
yeah. Yeah, I think we got another question. What is it?
Okay, let me
How,
dislike the video real quick.
yeah, by Ray Train again?
Oh yeah, let's have a look. Boop.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at these questions. Tab out. How long do you, by rate rate, how long do you expect the story to go? And if you go beyond what's planned, would you be willing to continue it? Yeah, that's a good question. How do
Yeah,
you
I can
stop?
answer that one. Yeah. When do I? What do you say?
That's a good question. When do you stop? If it's gonna keep going, or
I feel like if anything, at least 4 seasons would do it justice. Maybe 5, but I feel like 4 seasons would do it justice. If anything.
hmm,
So if they wanted to continue it, it would have to. I don't know how. I mean, I don't know. I kind of. If I wanted to continue beyond the seasons I already have ideas for,
mhm.
I would like to continue with Gix's children because I know I'm not going to spoil anything. I mean, I don't know if this is technically a spoiler or anything, but let's just say Gix is going to have may have a child or something in the near future with one of the characters. But yeah,
I'll give you a spoiler. If you're thinking about season 5, it's not a spoiler. Because by the time you
okay,
reach
yeah,
that
okay,
stage, you're gonna have a million different ideas already.
all
Yeah.
right, then yeah,
The,
yeah, I can
the,
point.
there is also the idea of doing stories in universe,
Mhm.
but not necessarily with the main crew, just a new
Yeah,
crew.
yeah,
And here's another question: as a see, the thing is, right now you are still in the you haven't been there yet stage. You haven't done that yet.
mhm.
Haven't launched season 1.
Yeah,
So it's a lot more difficult to gauge. Like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. But
yeah.
have there ever been moments in time, since you already been here for so many years, have there ever been other ideas in your mind popping in for a different show, or do you incorporate those ideas into Gig Story?
Um, I had one point where I wanted to incorporate an idea for in one of the stories into Tom Chronicles, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of dropped it because it fell out of place. It was like a fantasy card game that has to do with a previous story I tried working on called Azure Souls,
Yeah, yeah.
which is more like I imagine it was gonna the Azure Souls is gonna be a fantasy based card game or board game in Gix's world. But I kind of dropped that idea because I didn't find a place for it in there. But yeah, and as far as working on other ideas, like if I ever get the chance, I did have another idea for a sort of a cryptid like story.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. There's no name yet. It's still in like the early phases. But yeah, if I ever get another chance, yeah, I would like to do a story about cryptids as one of my big inspirations, one of my big obsessions. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Great.
so that'd be one thing I would like to do. But I want to stick to Tom Chronicles for the time being before working on anything else.
Of course. Because as I said, this is very long-term thinking in terms of me. Because
Yeah,
once you get the show, you're gonna get the high of doing the first season. The second season is like, I'm gonna continue the story, and who knows by
yeah,
what season you're gonna be like, I want to do something else now. But
exactly.
the interesting question is, do you ever consider the idea of giving the show to a different creative team? Like, let's say you're
Ooh.
season 2 or 3, you're done, you're happy with it. Would you let go of your baby, or would you want to be? The show ends with you or not, if there's a possibility.
That is a good question. That is a very good question. I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, I guess I would like to. How to explain this one? How do I put this in the words? I would love to give them my idea to the world and see what their interpretation of it is. I'm just afraid it'll turn into a live action remake or
No.
something worse, or a Michael Bay film. You know, like I was telling you earlier, the VC chat in your Discord. But yeah, like, um, but I wouldn't be against it. But yeah, I would still want to have. I mean, I don't know. I would love to end it where it is, but at the same time, I don't mind letting other people take the reins on it either. So
Yeah.
it's kind of up in the air in that point. But I wouldn't be against it completely.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting it for fish.
Yeah,
What about you?
for it.
I do have some ideas. I kind of want to do a comic
Mm-hmm.
and or a story called. I did some drawings if you want to see.
Sure.
Called Meadows. And something I do like a lot is horror movies and other things like this.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just. God damn it. Okay, hold on. I just need to pull up the
What? Go
my
on.
iPad.
Yeah. Let me point this out. That for an artist to jump from one piece of art to another is a lot easier than for someone who's like writing the whole series. That takes a lot
Yeah.
more time and effort, and you fall in love with that. Whereas that's why I was like, I know it's not going to be a hard question for you, Fish. It's like, do you want to change to a different art? It's like, yes, I'll do that on Tuesday, and I'll come back to this one. It's such an easier thing. But that's
Yeah.
you
Not
get.
ready. It's quite hard actually
Mhm.
to be
Or go on.
in between of all of that.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
all things considered,
Because of
because
my go on.
because that in between is really hard to deal with
Hmm.
because you need to choose what you're gonna do with the character, as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
And oh, you need to do that type of character for that type of show. Oh no, now you need to do like a cutie cartoony thing, but too bad for you, you need something way horrifying for the kids. So you're fucked.
Yeah. So where's that art? Did you posted it?
Hold on, hold on. I'm trying to find a way to post it. How do I do it?
Let's have a look at.
Damn it. Okay.
Well, while you're looking, let's have a look about these other characters that we have.
Sure. I'll tell you more about them if you need to.
Yeah, yeah. We'll go through them now. See what we got the idea of the squid lady, the
Yeah.
little drag girl, the anime girl
Like
based on Rebecca. Tell me about her.
Oh, Ela?
Yeah.
So Ela and Gix are like Ela and Cap. Well, Cap's not in that picture, but Ela and Gix are very good friends. I mean, they technically Gix met her when he was caring because she was a patient in like a test a test subject in the Metal Labs, his place of work.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's like the only one who like since Gix was always treats her with with kindness, is always doing going out of his way to make sure she's comfortable and just talks to her and he's all around a good guy to her. They became basically friends. And like they just like he cares about them deeply because he feels like even though they're test subjects to him through his job, he feels like they're both her and Cap are his only true friends in
Mm-hmm.
this whole world because he has basically no friends at all.
Oh.
So they cut later. I imagine later on they gain a romantic relationship in a way, despite being from two different species. They kind of have romantic interest in each other.
Mm-hmm.
Which is gonna play. There's gonna be a lot of funny moments because, like I said, Gix is very awkward. He doesn't read social cues that well. So like, it'll be a fun thing where you just see him struggle to like be charismatic and stuff.
What about her? What are her social cues like?
Oh no, she's very outgoing. She's very empathetic, easily able to read emotions. Like she's very yeah, she's good at like that's one of her main strengths. That she's very empathetic and easily able to know when something is wrong with somebody or anything like that. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So she's the extrovert friend, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
She tries to get Gix to come out of his shell a lot of the time. So yeah.
Too bad he has another shell on him right now in the story.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's probably going to be even harder for her to get him out.
Yeah. I can talk about the villain as well. The guy with the big scientist looking dude.
No, we'll get there. Here's a quick
Okay.
question. You ever worry about getting overwhelmed if the series gets popular?
Oof. Well, I do in a sense. But at the same time, I'm going to take different. I already planned out. I don't know if I told you this, but I plan out different, things I like to plan things in the future. So like, well, number one, I'm keeping my social media, my personal social media and my project social media completely separate.
Yeah.
As well as I might, funny enough, I might try to wear some sort of mask, as I don't want people to really know what I look like. That's something simple.
You're gonna do the Pari Tageki. I see the chicken head.
Oh, by the way, I just posted the images of my mini comics I'm working on the side.
Nice.
If you're curious.
But yeah,
And I'm gonna post Cap.
Gotcha. Good idea. But yeah, I feel like
having Deadman. Can you just post them in the doc? I cannot open them with my voice thing.
I'll pull that up. But yeah, like I feel like that keeping myself separate from people knowing who I am. Not that I'm afraid of that. I just feel like there's so many better. There's more. There's a lot of toxic people out there, and like I feel like people attack or feel like they're I don't know how to describe this. Like I feel like many people just take cartoons a little too seriously, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
Sometimes not everybody, but like some, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like separating my image from a public, like a more public image would be easier.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. That's why I sort of keep myself also fairly hidden. Um,
Yeah, no, I get you.
it's but what I do like is your mindset is like I have already a plan for this. When you have the McGregor mindset. I'm not thinking about when I'm if I'm gonna win the championship. I'm already planning what I'm gonna do when I win the championship. It's a good mindset to
Yeah,
have. It's like I'm already prepared for the overwhelming fan base that I will gather. It's great.
yeah, no, I get you.
Mhm.
Okay, so while
Mhm.
a dead
I
man
posted, I
posts
posted,
the
the, I posted, the, I posted the cat picture on there. So yeah.
Yeah.
there we go. Good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, I feel like that's gonna be alright. I feel like I wouldn't be too overwhelmed by all of the popularity if I
Right.
ever become popular because of it. I just feel like that would be cool to just see how people doing, how people see the character design and feel about it.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't really care about how people, judge me for it. I saw I posted peyote and cap design
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
while I'm gonna post the rest of the comic.
yeah, yeah. I see the
Except
captain.
if you already did that, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's not that I'm not really afraid of the whole overwhelming aspect of getting of people like of the whole project or anything. I just feel like I do got to keep myself separate from in the public eye at least. You know what I mean? It's just in case that it does go things go good with this. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's at least the plan at least. But yeah.
Nice. So I see Fish is putting the comment, but let's look at the cap as well. What can you tell me about this guy, Mr. Cap?
Okay. So Cap is a creature known as an amoeboid, basically a blob like a cyclops like a amoeba like creature. The
Mhm.
amorphous body can stretch, slip through cracks, all that. His species can live for an amazingly long period of time. He's technically 300 years old, but in his species, that's about like he's about maybe like 15, 18 years old in like his species. Like he's pretty young for being 300.
Yeah. So
So
what?
yeah, he's not the bright. Huh? Go ahead.
No, no, no. I was gonna ask, like, does that mean he's intelligent or he's not? He has a mind of a teenager, or
He has the mind of like a stoner teenager, but at the same time, he's very much not the most brightest tool in the shed. And other species aren't the smartest.
yeah, yeah. They
Because
sacrificed
yeah,
they sacrificed intelligence for longevity.
yeah.
They live long, but they're not
I mean, they're
smart.
pretty. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, they're amoeba, so they're pretty simple creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the funny thing about him, he uses various. He got him. His personality was molded after various old Earth, programs and movies and such.
Mm-hmm.
That's why kind of he. I imagine he kind of sounds like Jeff Fisher from American Dad. He just has that stoner like way of talking.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah,
What is his relationship with Gix and?
Elo's like a big sister to him, while Gix is his best buddy, and he sees him like an older brother figure as well. And they both get along very well. They have a good little back and forth too.
He's also sincere. He's a good confidant.
Yeah. He
Uh-huh.
also tries to keep he also is kind of the heart of the team as he tries to keep everything, everybody calm and like stop anything from escalating as well.
Yeah. He's the mitigator. He's the
Yeah,
level
exactly.
head. Why don't we just chill, guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Take a
He's
look.
also surprisingly useful during hardship or situation who are kind of tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nito. That's them. There's one character I'm interested in, is the cactus guy.
That's peyote.
Ooh. Yeah, he is a cactus wanderer, a sort of sentient cactus-like humanoid. His whole thing is that he is like the charismatic ladies man of the group in his own description. He's
Mm-hmm.
very much the muscle as well as he can regenerate, but not on the same degree as Gix. Like he needs dirt and sunlight in order to help him regenerate Like if he loses a limb, he can reattach it, but if it's really badly damaged, he has to regrow it slowly.
Mhm.
Also,
So
little fun fact about
okay, go
him.
ahead.
Oh, can I say it if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
You see the draw on top with the female symbol?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's same still, because as you know, plants can have two things, and so between two seasons, it's gonna change. It's gonna also swap between the two.
Yeah,
And the little finger magic he got on his torso is actually a bird because that's his baby. But because it's a type of cactus that take a longest time to, have their progeny, he's trying to keep it as close and safe as possible.
yeah.
Neil said, if there isn't a joke where he's a prick, I'd say it would be a missed opportunity. There we
Okay,
go.
that's a good
Obviously.
one. That's good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree with him on that one.
Story writes itself sometimes once you look at the character design. That's
Yeah,
why I think it
yeah,
helps a lot, the art design. It gives you so many ideas as well.
yeah.
Here's the question. Is he, from the design I'm looking at, he's not prickly in the sense that if you can touch him,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get injured by pressing your arm against it. It's not an actual cactus.
No,
He is
no,
an
no.
actual, not really. He can make spikes around his body, but he can
Yeah,
choose to just remove them if he wants to.
Yeah.
yeah. He can regrow them and grow them at will. So like he doesn't necessarily like if he's just talking and be casually around people, he makes sure his spikes are not around his body. That way he can easily interact and touch or whatever with people. You know what I mean? So yeah,
He's a cactus
And
themed Groot in terms of
yeah,
yeah,
art.
basically,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm thinking of it like that. Yeah, yeah. I can think of it like that. Yeah, that's
Oh,
pretty spot
and,
on right there.
and of course he keeps some of the spikes for fashion because that's his
Yeah,
whole. Because in his culture, we did a bit of a thing with his culture, and if we see other species, is they like doing stitches and scarification with stitches around their
Mm-hmm.
body,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
and use spikes in a way that can be fashionable. Like you can see one of the species having like two big spikes on each side of the face, and they got like little earrings on it, for example. They're
Yeah,
really fashionable,
yeah.
which which make Peyote quite an outstanding compared to others. Because he's quite simple as a character design. Like you just got a big jumpsuit with some spikes going out and a bandana, but that's kind of it.
So would he
He's not
be
really
more
that
of a jock
auspicious.
then? He goes to the gym often.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically, yeah.
yeah.
Does he need to go to the gym though? That's the question. Can he
Not
not
really.
He
just
does. He kind of does, though. He need to have body mass and strengthen his fibers.
just
But
like
Yeah,
technically, he doesn't really need to go around.
yeah?
yeah. He has a point there. Yeah, that's true.
Sam Sketchy Stars asks, "I just got here. What's happening?" Oh, it's well,
Animation.
animation.
Yeah.
These two guys are pitching a story. They're getting it, trying to get it greenlit. I'm looking at their works. I'm asking them the questions, the hard
Oh
questions.
yeah.
Uh, hopefully, if you're interested, the links are in descriptions from both of them. If you want to check out the project, there's some animatics there. They're pretty neat. Uh, there we go. What's this?
Rain Train just dropped a question. I want to answer
Yeah.
this one.
How much of the world are we gonna explore?
So season one, actually, a lot of different planets. That's for sure. Like imagine season one. I'll give you some of the list of the planets we'll explore in season one. Let me just go to my little pitch Bible. So we will explore there's a whole the whole galaxy there. It's called the Nexus sector.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole buttload of different planets, and the few we're going to explore in season one at least are. Hold on, I gotta go all the way down. Here we go. So one of the first places we see is Metallo Labs. It's a scientific colony that Dr. Silicone, the main villain of the story, works and lives at. Along that was the main hub for my main character Gix, who used to work there, which is just a cold, like very sterile high tech lab facility.
It's aperture science when, it wasn't gone too
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Then another one is Sanctuary, the underground underground planet in the underground like a mushroom sort of like colony in a planet on the like it's an abandoned planet that's basically a junkyard on the top, but inside of inside the planet's core is like this little like mini colony where the main characters sort of use it as a base of operations. That's another place. Another one is Permafrost, sort of a very cold winter, like icy, like almost Arctic planet with trees. Some trees that are made out of stone, strangely enough. And another interesting one is Isolda Moon Resort. It's basically just a moon that's been converted into basically a big old fancy resort island thing. You know,
It's for the
Island
beach
resort.
episode. It's for the beach
Yeah,
episode.
exactly. It's a beach episode basically. Yes, yeah.
Another
But-
beach episode. God dang it. God damn it, Gix.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, we got a goddamn anime girl in the bunch. Of course, we're gonna do a
Yeah.
beach episode.
We're gonna do a
No,
beach
but-
episode.
I mean, there's a lot of different planets and areas and places we're gonna explore. There's even one of the characters, one of the villains, Tungsten, and he's a future villain, part of Silicon's whole rogues gallery. He has a whole like casino base like of operations. We'll see this big old casino planet type of thing. Another one is a brothel meteor asteroid belt, which is run by the Mercury character, which will be
Yeah,
another fun
and-
thing to check out.
And the fun thing about the asteroid belt is like the shape of a heart, because that's part
Yeah.
of the red nebula. You get the joke, red district, red
Yeah.
nebula.
Yeah. So yeah, there'll be a lot of cool places we're gonna explore.
Speaking of, so you mentioned villains. Let's have a look what we have in your rogues
Yeah.
gallery.
Yeah.
Who do we have? What's on the?
Let's see. Okay, there's the first. Yeah, that's a good one.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
That's
Talk about the main one, or
The main one, I believe, is the.
I think you go down one. Go down after this one.
Oh, is it the gangster?
Yeah, that guy. That's the main one. Dr. Silicone. I can get us more colored image if you need
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Please do.
I'll drop it in. Okay, let me just pull it up.
Pull it up, Jamie. Pull it up,
Alright, so
Jamie. Show me that gorilla eating a deer. It's the usual Joe Rogan things.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
Show the chimp eating a bear. I don't know. I have to watch for Joe again.
All right. It's posted on the thing.
Yeah, let me just paste it in for you.
Do I remove the middle images or do we keep them for later?
There we go. Hold on. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, you got it.
There we go.
All right. Let's take a look. See.
What's his name? Dr. Silicone?
Yeah, Dr. Silicone. Imagine if for his full name, it doesn't mention much, but his full name will be Dr. Julius Silicone.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd rather go by Dr. Silicone just in general.
Call me Sil.
So he,
Go on.
yeah. So he is the mastermind behind Gix becoming the host for the Tom Armor. Let alone he is a 2 steps ahead, cold calculating. Well, I'm not going to ruin anything too much, but let's just say he's not what he seems. As far as if he being what he is, what he looks like as far as an alien goes. So yeah, he's not what he seems. He controls a lot of the scientific developments within the Nexus galaxy. And he's like the top medical and weapons engineer of the galaxy, like the top one.
Yeah.
His main goal is to basically wipe out all organic life, as well as make a new race of machine-based beings.
As one does.
Yeah.
As one
Yeah. And
decides to do.
I don't
Go on.
I don't know if you realize in terms of design, but Dr. The suit that Dr. Silicon got is the same as Gix.
Yeah.
And that's something I really wanted to do with both of the character and all of the Metallo labs, is trying to do a suit. It's basically like a suit made for everyone and they all look alike.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Rigas,
Yeah.
Rigas, are you not worried about revealing too much here before the pilot is out? I'll answer that question. I can answer that question, but then you can confirm whether I'm right or not.
Okay, go for it.
By the time you reach the finished product, there will be a lot more going for as well. A lot more detail. Things might change over time. But you're getting the initial sort of ideas of what these characters are going to be like. Now you can.
Right.
Is that correct or not?
Yeah, no, that is definitely correct. Let alone I haven't revealed a lot about who he is and what he is. So I'm holding a lot back here. So as much as I want to tell you guys everything, I'm holding a lot back on some of these characters. So yeah,
Hold me back. Hold me back.
yeah,
And even for his story, because I know it's quite basic as a sentence, but we might change that in the future or
yeah,
modify it. So for
yeah,
everyone in the future, if that show become popular at some point, yeah, no, fellas, that shit might be, not up to date now.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
that's what I said.
Also,
Anyone,
can you
anyone, or anyone
go?
who makes a pilot and you're getting a season one, let's say you're getting 8 episodes, there's going to be so many people breathing down your neck about what to change and what not and so on. It's going to be very different, and it's always nice to document these, launch ideas that you have to see where it kind of evolved. And if it stayed the same, that's great.
Yeah,
Anyway, I'm pretty sure what are we saying?
I just wanted to say, for that live, actually, I did some uh canonish sketches of what Dr. C can do and works. And if you go back in the documents, I did post them.
Okay, a second.
All of those little sketches with Dr. Seacon doing his own,
Where is
you
it?
know,
Oh,
routine, I
yeah,
guess,
oh, you mean this one's?
and to understand his mentality.
Yeah. Is it the one with the sketch? Last chance to join
yeah. I
the
can also
kicks.
give you on his mindset and stuff if you need be.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna reveal too much, but it just gives you an idea of who he is. You want to start Fish or should I?
I think I'm gonna, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Give me your thoughts on the pictures, and I'll say something after that.
The thing with Dr. Silicon is he's not, at least for himself, a bad guy. He wants to do things as a necessary evil. He's like the personification of the trolley problem, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. He weighs the cons and benefits of his radical. He's the Thanos. Instead
Yeah,
of
Yeah,
basically.
instead of doubling the resources, he halves the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
He wants that everything to be in control in one way or another.
Yeah, he's
And
married.
I'm not
yeah,
gonna say more, I feel like that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I can say a little bit more without giving out too much, but yeah, he believes that. Like how to explain this one without giving away too much. So yeah, he believes that he was his main in his past. He wanted to be. He was a fixer of sorts. His main purpose was to fix things. So yeah, like his main thing is he wants to fix the world, but after so much he's lived a long time. So after living for so long and seeing how the world and universe works, he believes that the only thing that actually works with and is easy to fix are machines. So that's why he believes machines should, possibly supersede organic life. So that's why in his mind, why keep organics if they're only going to make things worse when machines do everything twice as better in his eyes, at least.
The glorious evolution, as they say in League of Legends arcade.
Yeah,
He wants to evolve past the imperfections of humanity or organic.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, we're gonna try to work and tweak a bit his story to not be too
Yeah,
similar to to that character.
So nothing wrong.
But
exactly,
in
exactly.
Great Lines is without spoiling and just saying the Great Lines, if we change him, we're gonna change in the future. Is he wants to fix thing. The armor is the key.
Yeah, I don't get there, but yeah, but that's the plan at least. That way, it's not too similar to another thing. You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, Rain
They
Train is saying,
they dropped the
aren't
ball. They dropped the ball on Victor, so you might as well pick it up. On some of
Yeah,
those elements.
yeah, yeah. Let's see. Who else can we talk about? That's a good villain on here. Oh, we should talk about the second command of his.
Is it the one with the mustache or the cowboy?
Yeah, the purple dude.
yeah,
Oh
Thanos.
wait, we
Stan
didn't talk about.
Stan.
Yeah,
The Thanos. Come on, he's way more drippy than Thanos. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, suave Thanos. Yeah, I
yeah.
like it. Go on.
Oh yeah. So the purple guy, Tungsten, is very much a pit boss. He's the most loyal. Well, the first off, he's the most loyal member of Silicon's little group, and he very much is like the bodyguard slash whatchamacallit, like second in command. Also, he runs because also, by the way, all the members of his group run some sort of like business in some way or another. Like Silicon runs a medical laboratory. Tungsten runs a casino of sorts. Each of them uses it as a front for some nefarious things in order to do their plans.
Don't believe a casino was evil. Am I right, fellas?
Yeah. Yeah, like they use it as a front to like gain money or resources and to fund any plans that Silicon has, and Silicon is the leader. And like Tungsten runs a casino and whatnot, so that's his whole thing.
And the funny thing about Tungsten, before he becomes that crime boss, he was going in fighting pits. And he was basically a wrestler.
Yeah.
He was a wrestler?
Yeah.
He was a he was a fighter. He was he was basically a sort of for entertainment. He fought for entertainment on his home planet, but yeah.
Okay, interesting. That opens up
Yeah.
a lot of interest in that, because if he's a crime boss, he might not go out there to do the actual fighting. How does that affect him? Or does he do?
I mean, he also. Yeah,
Let's
no,
say that is where he is now wasn't his work before, and he needed to be a replacement for someone else. But I'm not gonna say more.
Okay.
And will not say more.
I'll just say this: he only gets his hands dirty if necessary, but he's also the one you call when Silicon wants somebody really roughed up or killed or whatever. So yeah, like he rarely needs to get his hands dirty because Silicon doesn't really need him for him to get his hands dirty that much. But yeah, he will, and he will take somebody out. But yeah,
I like him.
but he rarely does that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. I like the idea of him facing against Gix, because he's as you say, if he's a wrestler fighting for money, he's already that, as I like to say, the Giga Chad of the between the two characters. So facing off against him is a nice little threat that Gix would have to overcome, not just for intelligence, but actually standing up to someone who's an epitome of violence.
Actually, we were going to make. We kind of want to make a Peyote and Sylvia being the opponents against him, and do a fight against him.
Yeah.
First of all, to make Peyote understand that he's a tough guy, but he's not the tough guy.
Yeah.
And Sylvia trying to, work work with her team in a more, lucrative way, in a better way, and protecting the others.
Well, here Neil mentioned that this guy looks a lot like Tombstone. Do you know the character from Spider-Man?
Oh, yeah, that's definitely. I'm gonna be honest,
yeah.
that's definitely one of my inspiration.
Okay, good.
But I wanted to add, in terms of design, he's actually built like a screw.
Yeah.
That's why he got like that line in the middle of his haircut, because it's literally a screw.
Okay, nice.
A screw on head.
Yeah. So if Gix would face off against him, let's say in the show, would it be like Spider-Man versus Tombstone, where he would just get demolished? And
Oh,
someone
definitely. There is no way he's gonna win against him.
He's gonna get his butt whooped like really badly if they faced off. Like he thinks a lot of his villains were bad. Like getting beaten by Tungsten is like a beatdown of epic proportions. But yeah,
His mentality is as hard as his iron skin.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, I can already imagine him being this kind of a unstoppable force, whereas the other characters Gix might overwhelm in some with his suit, but this one is probably going to require a bit more of him than just the flashiness.
Yeah.
I mean, if Gix try to punch him as hard as he can, he's gonna probably break his own arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about this cowboy guy?
Ooh, I want to fill this.
Go ahead, do it. I'll let you. I'm
Okay,
gonna take a drink. Go ahead.
All right. So Clad, he is the main. Despite Silicon being the main villain, season 1 we follow mainly Clad, who's a bounty hunter who is after Gix to procure the armor from him. So Clad is this bounty hunter. He's an android, by the way. as well, not android. I mean a cyborg, because he was a human, but now all that's left of him is brain, spinal cord, and eyeballs.
Yeah.
He was a great bounty hunter at one point, but he lost his body in a horrible accident, and Silicone decided to repair him. And made him not that he basically works for him as sort of a side bounty hunter when he needs somebody to get something for him.
Yeah.
Also, he not only does he got go ahead.
The Strider of I think that's what it's called in Hello Boss.
Yeah, the striker, yeah. But yeah, he's less racist or anything. But yeah, yeah, I do imagine that he does have a lot of cool weapons and guns, like the little gun you see on the side of him. His boots are very sharp. And even he has a bunch of gadgets, guns. He can even turn his like me and Fish were talking about. He can turn his two fingers into like a high caliber barrel type of like handgun.
Yeah.
So he has all sorts of cool abilities and gadgets and stuff he can use. Plus he is very intimidating to the point where Gix sort of freezes up when facing him.
Mm-hmm.
He just has that very aura screaming like I'm gonna kill you with a smile on my face if I had a normal face. But yeah.
Yeah. Again, another overwhelming odd for poor Gix to overcome, and I'm gonna guess this one is more cat and mouse kind of dynamic between the two.
Yeah, exactly. I imagine that Gix just has a hard time dealing with him. Not only is he very fast and very strong and able to attack from a distance, he also Gix at that and early in the story does not want to harm or kill anybody, despite the armor's sort of thoughts on that matter.
How much? I guess Fish is out on getting water, or is he back?
I have no idea.
We'll find out. What I wanted to ask is, to me the design is similar to General Grievous in terms of the mask.
I'm back.
There we go.
I'm back. What did I miss? Are we talking about design now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this
Okay,
inspired by Grievous?
Honestly, in some part, but I feel like that was subconscious. No, it was more like in my head,
Yeah.
subconsciously, than on purpose.
Yeah. It's coincidental that he kind of the masks feel similar.
Actually, the mask looks similar, but it's actually inspired by Cow Skull because that's a cowboy.
All right. Yeah. I can see it.
But I really try in terms of the design overall to rather than going the Wild West that most Hollywood do with the really wide hat, the big poncho, and I don't know the legs
Does-
kind of the
Does he
the pants protection
Yeah.
going around
does he
going for more
drive
of an
a
Arizona cowboy.
does he drive a space motorcycle in a shape
No,
of
but you have no, but you have a cow shape skull ship spaceship
Okay. It's gonna be the
with
it's
with
gonna be
exhaust
the
on the side, and that's the horn of the cow.
yeah. It's gonna be the Blue Eyes White Dragon jet from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Exactly.
He's just branding himself based on the cow skull. It's like the guns would have the logos. I wonder if he markets it as well. It's like his business card is there. Because it takes a lot of effort to build a ship that looks like a cow head. It's not accidental.
He got each bullet got a cow skull on it. That's the joke.
Yeah. The footprint has the symbol, so that's how they know it's him. It's him. It's like everything's branded.
Ironically, that's the case. He does let cow prints when he's walking around. That's why the boots are shaped like that.
Oh my god. Yeah. That's a nice thing to play around with. Neil said, it sounds I apologize for this, but when you said that, I remember the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge series jokes about invisible guns. He's referring to the finger guns.
Yeah.
For kids. It's a joke about
Yeah. To be fair,
I did the joke in one of the sketch I posted before.
Yeah.
Where he got the finger guns because that's a reference to 4 kids always using the finger guns for the thing for censoring. And the thing with his design is he does have a big iron, but he only can use it once a day because it's literally an anti-ballistic gun.
Oh my god.
He can
Okay.
literally shoot down a ship with it,
Yeah.
but he can do that only once a
Well,
time and you need to recharge it.
yeah. Will it have like a big fuck you setup sequence where he like pulls it out, it starts, setting up, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it's like, or is it just a gun?
Oh no, okay, did you ever see did you ever play the game Fighter Z?
No.
Dragon Ball Fighter. Basically,
Oh
like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
I
like
know.
yeah, Dragon where he's doing the Kamehameha and you got the ankles going everywhere, and then he shooting the Kamehameha. He's basically doing that with his gun.
Okay, okay. He has to load it up. Neato. Let's see. Who else do we have on the character list? Who have not we? With this guy,
We
we
didn't talk about
explored.
gold, did we?
Oh,
I
that's
see
the finger
photos
gun.
of
There
it.
we go. Who?
Nothing. No, I was just saying. Who are we gonna pick next?
Uh, we
We
have.
didn't talk about gold, did we?
Joker guy.
Ooh, let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Did you put Spoof in the bunch?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. I
Uh,
thought so.
We have
I can if you.
Chicken Joker, or a mix of Venom slash Joker slash.
I can explain what he's all about if you want me to. Like
Go
I
on.
can do it real quick.
Go on.
So basically,
Or
that's
Chimera?
Chimera. Yeah, Chimera. He is a science experiment gone wrong, not by silicone, but by his own volition of getting in a tub of, well, getting not a tub, but like in a vat of experimental DNA, strand like DNA liquid and stuff like that. Like he got mutated basically. He got mutated. He got the
It's
mutant
a big
treatment.
mutant.
Yeah.
Yeah, like imagine Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that kind of situation. He was once human and he became a mixture of like different animals, and so he can like turn his body into different animal parts.
Neato. What's his
One at a
weakness?
time, though. So yeah.
What's his weaknesses?
He doesn't take anything seriously, and he isn't that physically strong, despite being different animals. Also, he can only alter his one body part at a time.
Okay, because immediately in my mind is already thinking like, if I shoot a laser in front of him, like not like point a laser, would his cat instincts kick in and he would try to chase after it? Would
Yes.
Probably.
yeah, because
He's a mixture of different things. Yeah.
he doesn't know how to control some of those instincts that he probably developed after the mutation.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's basically like he was made and I made him as the Venom for our Spider-Man, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he can control his power, who are quite a bit similar to Gex,
Mhm.
with the caveat of being more true instinct. Is kind of what would happen to Gex if he let the armor one and take control.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Exactly.
It's like that Batman Joker dynamic, or as I said,
Yeah.
It's the Spider-Man Venom. Similar powers, but obviously shows what happens if you give in to those powers. Which Giggs needs to get into, has to overcome, take control of that before it controls him. That's the part of. But
Also, for the design, I tried to make him as stinky as possible. I want him to look like you look at him, he smells like a fucking rancid corpse.
he does look like he looks mangy. That's I think would be like he looks like should have feathers, but he doesn't. So he's just like a plucked chicken. So I think it works.
Yeah.
I love that comparison. A plucked chicken, thank you.
It does, like
Yeah.
the one on the side, especially when he's pointing the finger at his head.
Yeah.
He's like using his pinky to go in his ears.
What is his goal?
Yeah.
Why does he want Gix?
Oh yeah, that's simple. He's all like Silicone sends out a big, a message saying if whoever can get this guy for me gets like this ton of money or whatever. He basically he happens to be he bounces from place to place and he happens to be the same place where Gix is at, so he wants to hunt him down for cash. So all he wants to do is his main goal in life is just to live comfortably and live like a star. Basically, he just wants money.
Do I pull up the beach outfit? Do I pull up the beach outfit?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes, pull up that outfit. Yeah, because he just wants to be famous, rich, and just live the high life is what all he wants. Not very complex guy, this dude, but yeah.
Interesting. Did he jump into the vat of acid willingly, or did he fell into it?
He just yeah. I imagine he was like this, like a lazy, like what you call it. He was sort of a lazy, like what do they call those guys? Oh, like janitor. He accidentally fell in and became this.
Okay, gotcha.
And but yeah, he made it felt not even not yeah. He fell in because he was just too lazy to look where he was going.
Okay. Because I was gonna say if he
Yeah.
willingly is like, I'm gonna modify myself to become rich, and it just backfires. He's not gonna live a cozy life, looking like that
Nah,
creature. He looks
yeah,
like he's
no,
in constant pain, which again works for gigs as well. It's a different kind
yeah,
of pain.
yeah.
Would
No,
he?
he's actually yeah.
Would he try to get himself back to normal using that money, or would he
Hell
embrace
no,
who
he
he
just
is?
he's happy. He feels happier who he is. Not let alone he's kind of crazy because of the whole experience. So he doesn't really care at this point. But yeah, his whole thing is he wants to party and live it up.
Okay, neato.
Okay, I
Yeah,
found I found the beach outfit. Hold on.
Okay, let's see what else do we have here
yeah,
from these wacky characters. We looked at this. We looked at
yeah.
Thanos, Cowboy. This guy sent me, but
There we
he
go.
said, "Who's there?" Oh yeah. Oh my God, it's the beach episode. Mm,
Do you like him?
You're going for the blue aesthetic?
Yeah,
Yeah, for I know that's a silly reason of why, but there is weirdly enough a good amount of character who are green and which is disgusting, so it will look too much like that one Powerpuff Girl enemy. No, like the bad guys and they're
Yeah.
like
The
green.
Green Gang.
Yeah,
yeah,
the gangrene gang. And because he can modify his body into animals, that would just be Beast Boy from Teen Titans Go. And I don't want
yeah.
to get sued.
Oh yeah,
By-
definitely not.
You're
We don't know. We don't want
so
Warner. We don't
so
want
make
Warner
him
Brothers after us.
yeah, so we make him blue like a Smurf.
Yeah,
the the
do not want Warner Brothers on our ass. But yeah,
the problem you might face is the fact that your hero and your villain will both be the same color. That's where the downside of that is. So
yeah. We can always tweak it. We can always tweak it.
yeah. Because
I mean that's the joke. It's the anti-geeks, so he's also blue.
you could.
Yeah,
Well, have you tried orange? That's also a possibility.
We tried orange. It look like a big carrot.
Yeah, because
yeah,
I was gonna say red, but you already have Mister what's his face Silicone as red
yeah,
in terms of color
yeah.
design. So you just stand them next to one another, see if it works out. That might be something
Yeah.
more. Yeah, because
Because I tried to go for it's a clearer type of blue,
mhm.
and when Giggs is in the armor, it's like a darker type of blue, so it's not really, they don't really look alike in
if
movement.
Yeah.
if it comes to words, just have it alter colors based on the whatever his mood is or something. So you avoid
Oh
all
yeah, it
that.
could be
That's
like a
cool.
chameleon.
We could
Yeah, it
do
could be like
that.
a
Yeah, that's
chameleon or
cool.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, just have that to be like it's whatever the color it just needs to be.
You know
Yeah.
what? I think we could make him white, honestly, just a white, blank white
Ooh,
color.
albino. Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Albino sounds pretty fun.
he looks like with with the suit on, he almost looks to me like the villain from One Piece.
Oh my
The
God, you're
shark.
right.
Does he not? Does he not look?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, but because he got a fucking flower shirt, that's why.
He looks like the shark villain. In the Hawaiian suit. This one is he looks like a Bloodborne character. In the bottom ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the dissonance between him looking all raggedy, creepy, and when you see him back, like at the beach episode, when he finally got that mod sweet money,
Yes.
he just looked like a regular dude, kind of drunk, but really happy to be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Arlong. Yes, that's the one who we're thinking.
Yeah.
With the Hawaiian shirt and everything.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Who else do we have on this exciting list of adventure? I think that's most of the main characters, unless I'm missing somewhere really important.
No, I think you're good.
What about this? What about this gray creature? Is he relevant, or is he just the example of?
Oh, he's just a one-off, one-time creature that happened. That's in one episode, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did miss someone. We did miss Gold.
Oh yeah.
Do we have?
Where's it? Where's your picture?
She's
Can
with
you send
Sylvia.
it in the Can you send it also the big drawings over?
Yeah, the one with
I
Sylvia
po
and.
no, not the one with Sylvia, the just one where she's alone. I posted it in
Okay,
the
I can do
server.
that. I can do that. Yeah, I can
Thank
do that
you.
real quick. Let's see here.
Give it to me.
Where did it? What was it?
Long space long. Don't say it like that. Someone in the chat.
The space long is just a Subway sandwich.
Space long is R long, but in space.
So where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
But I appreciate that you like the character design so far.
Here you go.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
Give it to me.
I'm posting it right now.
Okay, I was just looking at the comic as well from yours, Fish. While we waited.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go. We'll get back to that towards the end. Oh, there she is. Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
This
that's
thing.
cool. This thing is you're good.
This thing.
Yeah, that's gold. That's gold.
I'm gonna punch you.
This is my favorite character.
Oh.
How dare you? No joke.
I won't reveal too much about her, but let's just say she has
He's
some.
really important, Enrico.
Yeah, she's important, and she has some ties to Silicon. That's all I want to say.
And Clad.
And Clyde, yeah. Other than that, she's a cool character. She's very like country like, and we might change, but I imagine she speaks like almost like a cowgirl almost. But yeah, and also she's very friendly and very much a good leader. Also, her whole thing is she kind of helps the crew with the ability with keeping them hidden and just keeping them safe in Sanctuary because she runs Sanctuary. That planet that I was talking about earlier, but yeah.
Yeah. My only pet peeve with her is the gap tooth right there.
No, that's a feature. Fuck you.
That's a feature, not a bug.
Yeah.
That gap tooth is bothering me.
Because
Go on.
the black in her face, like the big shadow, is not a shadow, and the line on her face, separating the gold and the white, are not just a line art. She literally got her face shattered.
Yeah.
Her face is shattered. That's why she got the tooth gap on the side.
Yeah.
I know there's a lower reason for it. I'm just saying, it just
Yeah, we
bothers-
won't reveal anything. We're just letting you know that that's the reason why.
Yeah. And is she a robot? Is she a full?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is a robot.
Yes.
Man, she's given some thighs for a robot.
I mean, yeah, she needs those motors, you know what I mean?
She can't give herself a better leg, but she gave herself those thighs.
Yeah.
That's the thing with. Also, that's one thing with Gold. Also, her full name is Gladys Gold.
Mm-hmm.
Is she need the part that she found are really really hard because there is almost no model like her. So all of the weird parts she got are from other type of robots because it's almost impossible to find parts for her.
Yeah.
That's why she got that weird peg leg. She just doesn't have a choice in the matter.
Okay, fair enough. What is she aside from Sanctuary? What's her personal relationship with Gix?
She sort of as a mentor. Kind of like a mentor figure. She tries to help him deal with the fact that deal with the armor, try to help him, keep him on the right path and keep him safe and like help him figure out ways to control it. That's her main role in the story.
Also, she's the love interest of Sylvia.
Okay.
Yeah.
She kind of reminds me of like a mom character.
Yeah.
from
She
the
acts
design of it.
like a mom. Yeah. Yeah, very much so. Like her whole character is very much that motherly figure to everybody, though a stern motherly figure. But yeah.
Fair enough. There we go. Anyone else we're missing from the cast?
Did we
Nothing
talk about
important.
Sylvia?
Oh yeah, I can send him some pictures. We forgot to do Sylvia, so let me drop. That'll be the last one. That's the one I can drop off right.
Yeah.
And also you can go up and we got some drawings of Sylvia and Gold together. If you want
Should I
to
give 'em-
watch.
Do you want
It's
to
on
post
top.
those or no?
Post it in.
You can post them if you want.
Post them
Let me
in.
let me post the one of Sylvia by herself real quick so you can just have that one.
Yeah, so I can put it on the
Oh, no,
screen.
post them with all of the action I did with Sylvia. I did a bunch of
Oh
dynamic
yeah, I can
poses
get
with
that
her.
one. Yeah, yeah, grab that one real quick. Hold up.
That's a bit more
E.
meaty.
While we're
People
waiting,
would like that.
Yeah.
while we're waiting, we can watch the animatic a little bit again. I'll play it in the
Yeah. Let me just
Oh,
pull
shit.
it. Yeah.
just so people who haven't seen it.
Yeah. Show that off. Show that stuff off.
All right, it's me, Gix, ready for another exciting day. Oh no!
Of depression. Yippee!
Oh, my pants
Yeah.
fell
Imagine like
down. Oh god.
My tooth fall off.
Asthma. Oh god damn it, Gix. Get to work. But
yeah. I posted the photo.
Okay. Oh, switch these off. Oh. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there she is. I remember her.
E.
Let's see. Copy image. Let's pop her in. Pop Sylvia in. There she is. There's good old Sylvia. Everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Immediately she strikes me as
Thank you,
as a character from OK KO. It's gonna be my
I get you.
reference.
I get you.
Damn! I know she's a lesbian, but I didn't know that was that obvious.
She's either a boxer girl or the mom. It reminds me more of the mom.
Gotcha.
KO's mom. Go on.
Yeah.
Pitch her to me.
So yeah. Anyways, Sylvia's whole thing is she is sort of like I guess next to Gix, she's sort of the main. She could say she is the leader, but like even though Gix tries to lead himself, she kind of helps him out as the secondary leader.
Mm-hmm.
She's also like the not training, but like the battle mentor towards Gix as she tries to teach him how to fight amongst the other and some of the other characters as well. She tries to teach him how to do combat. As she's very well. She knows she's learned fighting skills over the years she's been alive. Let alone she made her own fighting style off of using ballet mixed with some martial arts. So she has that, as well as her mechanical arm that allows her to turn into various things for combat and various other situations. So yeah, she tries to help Gix. She tries to help Gix be confident, as well as trying to teach him how to fit ways to fight and just overall be strong.
Gotcha. She's the
Yeah,
Vaggie.
she
She's
also
the Vaggie of
yeah.
the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Also, she is very much. Yeah, she is a LGBTQ character.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, she's very much also the grumpy guts of the story. As she is not. She's usually very stern and doesn't really like to joke around, but she does open up a lot when it comes, especially with Hila, as she has a problem with being very feminine or weak in certain situations. But yeah.
Mm. I see.
So yeah, she does. She may be a strong girl, but she does struggle in various other aspects.
She does have a high tech arm. Because she lost it.
Yeah.
Go on.
She
No,
worked
actually-
in a mining company, actually, in a
Yeah,
mining area, actually, in a big asteroid. And
Yeah.
during a collapse, she lost her arm.
Mm-hmm. So now it's just a nub. Well, a robotic arm, but without the arm, it's just a nub. But yeah.
I see. So
Yeah.
battle mentor for Gix, slightly more competent leader. I could see that him looking at her with wide-eyed ooh face while she's like doing the commanding. It's like, all right, gang,
Yeah.
we need to do this. Gix, yes, ma'am. It's like, stay here. Yeah, those are kind of the moments that I could imagine in the show. But yeah,
And she's trying to be the most serious character because she knows she got like between Peyote and Cap, who are two, white cards. She's really trying to deal with them in a way that will benefit everyone. But goddamn, it's hard.
she's the straight man.
Yeah.
She's the straight man of the team.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's the straight woman of the team. I mean, she's not
Yeah.
straight, but you see what I mean.
Yeah.
The straightest gay woman in the show. Gotcha. Speaking of which, I don't know whether I zone out or not, but who is her main villain in this? Who is her antagonist?
Oh, okay. Well, I might have to post the picture of that one. Oh no, actually no, we have that one. Actually, never mind. I thought we didn't. No, Tungsten as okay. So here's the thing. Tungsten and her have a history.
Yeah.
The reason why she joined up with Gold and with Paley and all them is because Tungsten, like she grew up with some brothers of hers. Her
Mhm.
oldest brother got killed by Tungsten. So she has sort of a vendetta against him, and she wants to figure out a way to get to him to sort of take care of that vendetta.
Okay. The
So her
Inigo
arc of the
Montoya.
story, yeah, the her arc is very much she if she ever even if she gets kills Tungsten or whatever, it still won't bring her brother back. So that's her arc is to get heal past that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if we want to go in technicity between characters, kind of also Mercury in a sense, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
say why.
yeah,
It's like
not real too much, but yeah,
you killed my
yeah,
brother. Prepare to die.
yeah.
There we go. And she has her
Yeah.
little robotic arm. She must be have a close. Yeah, as you said, you have a close relationship with the mommy robot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we did post the drawings in the bunch if you want to see.
yeah.
Yeah.
If he can, man.
hmm There we go. Who else do we have? Anyway, that's the main cast, isn't it? The villain, the heroes, the comic reliefs,
Yeah, yeah,
the straight
Yeah, I feel
mans,
like we're good now.
yeah,
and of course gigs. Everyone's
yeah.
favorite. There we go. Let's see. Do I have any? Do you have any more things to tell while I'm looking at whether I need to ask any more questions? Do you have any other comments you want to mention about the show
So let's see.
that I didn't touch? Because maybe you're like, I can't wait for him to ask me about, the songs. I'm like, oh,
We do have a theme song that's also on our YouTube channel, which everybody can check out.
yeah.
What else? We do have we do have an Instagram with some art, some previous art, and yeah, old art and stuff like that. Some
And
videos of character introductions. So yeah,
and we got a Patreon where we're
yeah, we do.
gonna
Please,
put
if
all
you,
of the don't be too desperate though. We got the
yeah,
old Patreon. We got a Patreon. We're gonna post some new
yeah,
drawings and some really old ones from the beginning of the project.
yeah. Let me see. Do I have the Patreon on the YouTube channel? Let me just double check on that.
Also, some exclusive part of the animatic we already done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. You're getting the
Um.
marketing part of it already
Yeah. I
sorted.
mean,
And
yeah.
of
I'll
course,
post.
for follow roaming trend and give him money. He needs that money.
I'm
Yeah.
desperate. Desperate. Please feed me.
Please, I need those crumbs under the table. Please,
There's a coffee
Yeah.
page. And if you're also a creator, feel free to join my Discord. And I need to find a way to organize these things where I could get all kinds of creators to come in and do these kind of chats. I feel like they're very helpful for
Yeah.
other creators as well as you. So let's have a look. Let's have a look at quickly again at what I was going to ask you. Oh yeah, Fish, you haven't mentioned your Meadows comic book. We might as well highlight that.
Oh boy, okay. So I got an idea for a while, and something I like to do is horror stories, and horror in general is one of my favorite things. And I want to go in the nitty-gritty of things.
hmm
And a story I wanted to do and share to my art is talking about the struggle of being alone
hmm
and trying to take care of family members in a way that can benefit everyone. And so you follow Diane, who is a farm woman.
hmm
She's a farmer, and she tried to take care of her kids, but there is fracking going around because of a big company on the side.
hmm
And because of that, something broke under the earth and opened something. And so I wanted to go in really into the thing kind of creature design, where basically there is a bunch of totem and how we call that,
hmm
and things to protect the area coming from everywhere on Earth for some reason.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with the fracking happening, all of those seals are breaking, and all of the thing inside the Earth try to get them. And unlucky for her, she's literally in the front of it.
Hmm. The art style is definitely a lot different from Tom Chronicles. It's very much more auteur, darker, grittier, a little more stylized as well. So how do you
Yeah,
balance how do you balance those two things? Does one slip into the other or not, or do you keep them fairly separate?
I'm trying to be. That's a really good question, actually. I'm trying to do a bit of both, actually. Where the thing with Top Chronicles that helped me a lot is doing human character design, and to save that to my Meadow story is making the character kind of cartoonish in a way. So you got, those animals and other things that looks fairly normal,
Yeah.
a bit sure stylized, but look more realistic with those cartoonish humans that look, more soft and all. I feel
Uh-huh.
like it is interesting. So you got that big dissonance between the monster with a bunch of details and the humans who are quite simple.
You'll be like in page 32. You may see a version of Gix hiding in the background. It's like, oh, that's from
Oh
another
yeah,
book.
actually, I'm counting putting like some friends' work
Yeah,
inside the comics as reference,
yeah. It's always fun
and
when you can do
obviously
that.
probably yeah, it's always fun. I feel like it's important to do that.
Oh my God, these creatures. Yeah, again, for Andrew, for Dead Man, you have a very strong artist along your way, because I'm looking at the designs and I think it's got to be really a unique show once it gets greenlit, and I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Again, how much they want to change it will be that's going to be your biggest challenge coming in the future. Um,
Yeah.
that's going to be your bait. Whether if it gets any more attention, maybe someone sees this podcast or something. It might pop up. You might get someone with a bit more freedom to create. Freedom to let you roam around with these ideas. But I think, yeah,
Mhm.
the designs are definitely there. You have the characters pretty much nailed on. Minor tweaks, and you're ready to go. So I'm very curious to see what's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
happen in a couple of weeks. See what they say.
Yeah, exactly.
See what changes they're gonna have, and yeah, maybe we'll see Gix on the screen. But it's gonna probably
Hopefully.
yeah, it's gonna take a while. But I think
But
for
don't
go
we'll
on.
keep you in touch.
Yeah, and yes,
Hmm.
I think this is a good time to pause anyway at the stream, unless you have any more questions or any more comments. If you already
No, I'm good.
socials in description. If you're a creator too and you want to get in contact with these two guys, see if they want to have any more voiceover lines, or we have any more other opportunities, get in touch with them.
Oh
Socials are
yeah.
there. Come to join our Discord, as I always encourage. As artists, writers, and all kinds of people there, me included in the voice chat. A very different person than sometimes you see in the videos. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. And yeah, if you enjoy this, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.